powerful, dramatic, beautiful.
Very thoughtful.
Touching, one word.
Thought-provoking.
Realistic.
Illuminating, because I'm sure many people don't know these stories, and it's very interesting and well performed.
And the third word, very profound, I think, the whole thing.
The overall message of obviously the struggle that the refugees went through, and it was just such a beautiful way to end it with the projections and just the bodies in the room as well. So it was very powerful at the end.
Well, it reminded me very much of someone I knew in Hong Kong who had a very similar experience, because her husband had died fighting for the Kuomintang, and she was left a widow with two very young children. And life was very difficult, as you could imagine. And she went to stay with her sister for a little while, but she realised she couldn't stay there and had to leave, and so she planned to go to Hong Kong.
So it's sort of thought-provoking because it makes you realise, I suppose, sort of what people lived in Hong Kong, how they came to Hong Kong, what their hopes were, and the kind of the frustrations people have had before. And probably the echoes of what's maybe happening there now, how people feel, and the kind of the echoes back from generations.
For me, I was a child in Hong Kong since 36 years ago, and I remember at 14 years old seeing the refugee camps. I think they were the Chinese refugee camps, I'm not 100% sure, and there were people behind barbed wire fencing, and I remember walking down the street thinking, what was so bad that they were running away from to live like this? And our friend Tina, who was with us, was over there. She wasn't there, and she just shocked, and I don't know. I think for me, she sat next to me, and she's in tears and understanding what we saw. So it was the whole story of waiting and being processed. I just think it's quite barbaric how we treat it.
And just ending up with a number at the end, not your name. You're just a refugee number, but not just for people that ended up in Hong Kong, but I think worldwide. It's just such a vast global problem.
Never seen anything like it before. Not in this sort of context with the multimedia and the projections that were used. So I think it's a really interesting way of doing it, and it was done sensitively but powerfully at the same time.
I think it's a message of hope for refugees. Although there's so many refugees nowadays, you just can't really see it ending happily for many of them.
You can tell stories to anybody about anything, but it's got to be somebody that's going to be receptive enough to understand the problem.
I think it's really important for other people to understand what's happening and what did happen and what still happens now. So yeah, I think the story needs to be told.